author of the Hollow Man series, owner of Hollow Man Publishing, American Made VA. Paul, how are you? And we're going to talk about something that I think that's happening. Distractions as entrepreneurs, authors, speakers. We have shiny object syndrome where the next cool thing is where we go instead of staying the course for success. Isn't that right, Paul?
Yeah, I think we as authors need to look at the larger picture, right? Not just focus in on one little bit that says that here's a shiny thing, here's a squirrel, for example, and we get distracted. So we really have to still look at that big picture from writing it to publishing to marketing it and getting going on to sales. So
Yeah. And see, here's the thing, I hear all these one time only fees, one time only coaching program, one time only this, one time only that. And before you make these decisions, you have to look at what are your ultimate goals. We get distracted like this seems cool. I'm going to pay for it. And then they could take that money and they could put it into marketing and also building a brand. I think I figured out the whole book author thing. And this is a really interesting kind of assessment I've made that once you get your first book, you're not going to get a lot of sales. Your second book, you're not going to get a lot of sales. Your third book, but you got to invest in marketing to gain the readers to then monetize book 4, book 5, book 6 because you've built an audience. Then you don't have to spend as much money on ads or emails or spending time hiring a marketing agency to get those right readers. And then you're going to have success because let's just say you need to invest 30, 40 grand in your book to come back and get the results of 30 or 40 grand in sales for your book. Once you get that, the rest is profit. But it's a long process. And if you've written the wrong book, you might as well forget about it, Paul. This is where I'm starting to think more and more. It's throwing money at things till you break even. And then after you break even, it's profit all the way straight through, almost.
yeah, yeah. I mean, again, back to the big picture. It's the branding that comes with those first, second, third, fourth books, right? If people don't know who you are, you still aren't successful that way as a writer, right? So you have to really look at the whole picture, and branding is a huge, huge, huge part of that. And I found out that hard way, right? And I'm still not where I want to be, right? So it takes a long time.
No, you're not. And the reason is because we need to build our email list. We
Mhm.
need to build our community. And then that community has to be book people interested in your book. So from the beginning, you got to stay the course from that book 1 to book 2 to book 3 and find your avid readers. And then how do you make money? Spending money on marketing. That means you're going to take a huge loss to get back the win. And the problem is the shiny object syndrome. Let's say you have $50,000 to spend on your book. Most of them spend on 40,000, spend on courses and coaching, and then they had no money ever left over for marketing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it sounds too good to be true, it really is. I mean, just use your gut. I mean, we've got good common sense, all authors. So
No,
just
it's
look
a
at this thing and yeah, and just say if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
but
So
that's for the small little things. But these other people spending so much money, it's all investing in branding. But you have to create a business plan and you write a book. You want to be a full-time author. Have you done your market research? Have you figured out if your book will sell in the marketplace? Who is your competition and how long are you willing to invest to stay in that competition? You have to create a book like a business. You have to create a podcast like a business. You have to create a speaking business like a business. Have you looked at your competition? How many people do you need to see your book to buy it? And how much do I have to duplicate that process again and again and again to finally have the results? Yes, there are flash in the pan that gets 20,000 book sales. Bam, great. But if they didn't have a community and all that stuff, I really think it was lucky. And that's why company you go to look to get published by a major publisher. But now they're expecting you to have a complete your own audience. So that's the problem, Paul.
It definitely is. I mean, it's a writing is a business. Once you start and it's like, okay, maybe start out as fun, it might start out as a hobby, but if you're serious about it, it's going to turn into a business really fast. And we have to be prepared for that. And the business plan is another part of that, right? So I mean, there's all kinds of things that we have to look at as authors to say, how is this really going to work? How is this affecting our lives, other people's lives? How are you getting your story out there? Who are you getting it to? It's just on and on and on.
Let me give you a cost per acquisition. If you're acquiring somebody for 2 times the amount as a reader, let's just say you strategically run Amazon ads, not Facebook ads, Amazon ads, and you get for each reader, it takes you double to get that book sale. Well, hopefully, if they like your book, you have them to buy book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5, book 6. And then you're profiting like crazy. And then you keep building on your reader list. You keep reinvesting back into ads. I think that the thing is, these other people that are out there saying, you don't need that much to market your book. You're full of crap. Look at a major company with these major New York Times bestselling authors and find out how much they spend in investing in that author. Paul, it's a lot of money.
It could be millions. I mean, it goes far and wide. I mean, that marketing is the thing that builds all of everything outside of writing, right? I mean, you write it, but then you need brand, you need your audience, you need marketing, kind of thing. It's like there's all of that goes together.
So think about this. If you literally one of your books, then that's where you have to create your book into far more than that. And this conversation is kind of going in that direction. How are you making this book more? Are you providing writing coaching? Are you creating a publishing company? Are you creating something else to supplement your dream? But then take that money and put it back into marketing. It would be really interesting to say it, but if your book sells, Paul, if your book is a sellable book, you gain your readers in your first book. That's the smart ones that go ahead and say, I'm going to sell it for 99 cents. Once you build that readership, then the next book, you run ads, but you don't give away the book. Then you start building more people who buy the book. And then you keep doing it over and over again. It's return on your investment. But if it doesn't sell, and Paul, that's the problem. A lot of books don't sell.
Yeah, true. And I think really you have to look at this as an art or a science as far as marketing goes. Which is it, right? And you have to really settle on it being closer to a science than an art because it's repetitive. There are things that work, there are things that don't work, and you have to find the people who know those things, what works and what doesn't work.
All right. The best place to go is Paul Hollis author.com or the hollowmanseries.com and contact Paul Lie if you want to publish your book. You're looking for marketing, contact Paul. And Paul, the bottom line is this is where it makes more sense. Why do people have a specific ad spend if you go on Shark Tank? So you got to spend this much in marketing because if you don't get it out to the people, you're not going to get your return on investment. And Alex Hormozi talks about this, how he's able to get for $1 of advertising, $3 back in sales is because he tests and tests and tests and spends and spends and spends and spends till he figures it up. Then he turns it up. It's that simple, but you got to be willing to do it. You need to have a budget and you need to. So if like say, I want to have one of the best, most successful podcasts in the world. How much is your marketing budget? What are you looking to do? What are your competitors? I guarantee, Paul, you get on a call and you went and messaged everyone in your group right now. How many of them created a marketing plan for their book? None of them, maybe.
Yeah, I would say probably not. I mean, that's not writing, I mean, that's a part of the business, and so we just
A
kind of like
competitive analysis.
Yeah,
doing competitor analysis of your book, all these different things. What's the market? That's what those marketers are going to ask. I appreciate it, Paul. Thanks again. You're listening.